Welcome to Dance On. Thank you for joining us today. My name's Nisha and today we're going through some belly dance basics. So before we get started, make sure you've got a little bit of space around you so you can move around. Make sure there's nothing around that you're going to trip over. It's worth getting some water as well just to keep yourselves hydrated because remember it is physical activity. And it's always worth checking with a health professional before you carry out any physical activity. Now with belly dance, just remember don't force any of the movements today. Some of the movements might start off really small, but that's absolutely fine. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to start with is just making sure that your body feels comfortable before we start. So key tips for belly dance, make sure your feet feel comfortably apart. Your feet just feel in a natural position, but just make sure your knees bend naturally and they're not coming in together. And the other thing is making sure your legs aren't completely straight. So make sure there's a bit of bend in the knees because that will help the hips move. Lovely. So make sure your shoulders are back as well. Excellent. So we're going to start with arms first. So our arms are going to lift up to the sides, just to where they feel comfortable. Try not to bring them too far out to the sides. So our arm combination is lifting up the arms, and then we're going to use the hands. So with the hands, bring them in front of you, see whether you can create a little bit of a wave. So this is a really nice graceful move through the hands. Start through the heels of the hands, allow the move or the wave to come out through the fingertips. So our arms are going to lift out to the sides, remember keeping them in a bit of a V shape, and then you're using those hand waves to bring them into the body and back down. And then we do it again. So our arms are going to come up, lifting them up from the shoulder, keeping the shoulders down, hand waves to come in. Now, if that move feels comfortable, you can think about lifting the arms a little bit higher so they're coming above the head this time. Then the palms are going to turn in towards each other and then the hand waves come down in front of you. So with this variation, your arms can come up and then they zigzag down in front of you. Excellent. From there, we're going to do a hip drop. So our hip drop, I'm going to show you side on. So we're going to start with your right leg. So I'm mirroring you today. So the right leg comes slightly in front. Make sure there's that bend in both of the knees. You're going to make that connection between your knee and your hip. So as your leg straightens up, put your hand onto your hip because that helps as well. As your leg straightens up, with your heel lifted off the ground, you're lifting the hip up. And as your leg bends, the hip moves down. So again, just try that nice and gently. So we're lifting up. So as the knee straightens, you're lifting the leg up, and then as the knee bends, you bring it down. So with the beat of the music, we're trying to bring the hip down. So remember to lift it up first, and then bring it down on the beat. So we're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop. Excellent. Try it on the other side as well. So the heel's lifted off the ground, the foot slightly in front. Place your hand on your hip so you can feel that hip moving. The legs bent, make sure both legs are bent. Straighten up the knee so it's making that connection between the knee and the hip, straightening up the hip, and then allowing the knee to bend so the hip can move down. Just try that movement one more time. So you're straightening up the knee, straightening up the leg, the hip moves up, and then down. And in the same way as before, the down action is happening on the beat of the music. So we go lift, down, lift, down, lift, down, lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop. Excellent. We're going to add some arms into this one as well. So again, arms are just coming out to the side. So turn the body just slightly to our left. So you've got your right leg in front, and then we do our hip drop with our arms lifted. Drop and drop and drop and drop and drop, 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 drop. Excellent. Then we're going to change sides. Arms in the same position, and this time working the left hip, and drop 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 and drop. Excellent. Lovely. Moving on from there, so we're going to do a little walk. So this time we're starting on our right leg, we're just taking a few steps, so we're going to walk towards our right side. So again, I'm mirroring you today. So we're going to walk using your right leg, taking 3 steps, and then we bring the feet together. So walking to your right, so starting right, left, And when you go right again, you're bringing the feet together. Excellent. And then you've got a little pause there. Then we start on the left leg. And we're taking 3 steps walking to our left. Left, right, left, and then bringing the feet together. Let's try that again. So we've got right, right, bring the feet together. Then left, right, left, bring the feet together. Now your arms can be lifted as you do this move as well. You can add a little bit of movement with the arms as well. Now when we get to the end, so when we've done right, left, right, we're going to use our shoulders. So with our shoulders, there's just going to be a really sharp movement, so you're bringing one shoulder forward at a time. 1, 2, lovely. So that happens at the end of our walk. So if we try our walk to our left, we're doing left, right, left, and shoulders. Lovely. So there's 2 movements with the shoulders. So to time, you're doing 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it doesn't matter which shoulder goes forward, whichever feels more natural to you. And 4. Excellent. From there, we're going to start using our hips. So with the hips, we're doing a figure 8. So starting with your right hip, I just want you to get used to sliding the hips from side to side. Now, as you slide, the feet are quite close together. You try and keep your shoulders nice and still and the rest of your body nice and still. So this movement takes a bit of time to get used to, and it might just start off as a very, very small move, and that's absolutely fine. From there, we're looking at circles. So imagine there's a circle around your right foot. You're going to twist that right hip forward and then draw that circle around your foot using your hip. So it's circling forward, then it's going to circle back and it's going to come back into the body. If you try that one more time, so you're circling forward, circle it round, draw that circle around your foot and bring it back to the body. Try it on the left side as well. So you're shifting the hip forward, so bring it forward. Imagine that circle around your left foot this time, circle, and bring it back into the centre. Try that one more time to the left. So bringing the hip forward, imagine it being pulled forward, circling around the foot and back to the centre. Now we join both of those together, so starting on your right. Again, keep the arms lifted. So right circle, and as you feel it coming into the body, left circle. And again, right circle, so now we're joining both of those circles together to make a figure 8 shape. Yeah? And it feels quite long, so it's almost like tear shapes, teardrop shapes. Excellent, lovely. So that's your figure 8. From there, we're looking at our shimmies. So shimmies is what belly dance is quite famous for. We're going to look at 2. So we're going to start with the twist shimmy. So the twist shimmy, again, your feet are quite close together. Now this time the legs are a little bit straighter for this one. So with the legs nice and straight, just have a go at twisting one hip forward at a time. So it's like your hip is being pulled forward. Yeah? And then on the other side. Lovely. Now this should feel quite a natural movement. You can imagine that you've got a towel around your bum. Yeah? And you're giving it a nice, making it nice and dry. So it's that action that we're looking for. So again, let's bring it to the music. So you've got 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Lovely. Now what we do with this one is just make it a little bit faster, and to make it faster, make the move smaller. So once you're used to the move, you can have a go at trying to get it a little bit faster. Excellent. Takes a bit of time. Remember to keep breathing with this one as well. And try and keep the hands as still as possible. Excellent. But always start off slow. And if it doesn't feel comfortable going fast, remember you can always do the move slow as well. So another variation on that one. This time the hips are going forward and back. This time we're bringing them up and down. So we go back to having that bend in the knees. Again, put your hands onto your hips because it does help to feel that connection between your knee and that hip. So as you straighten up the leg, you should feel the hip coming up. And then as it bends, the hip moves down. So you're alternating your legs. So you've got one knee bent and one leg straight, one knee bent, one leg straight, to create the movement with your hips. But it's really important that you've got lots of bend in your knees to start. So showing you from the side as well, you can see my legs are doing the work rather than the hips working. Excellent. So again, you can keep it at this level and keep it at that pace. But if you feel you can get a little bit faster, let the legs wobble, let everything wobble. Excellent. Keep breathing on this one as well, and try and get your shimmy a little bit faster. Excellent. So that's all the moves that we're using. Remember, you can always go back to watch little bits, watch the instructions until you feel comfortable. And then the next thing we're going to do is add it to music. Excellent. Starting with the arms, so arms come up, bring them in. Lovely. And again, so lifting up the arms and in, lifting up. Lovely. Here comes your hip drop. And drop. Change sides. And again. Lovely. Keep the heel lifted. Make that connection with the knee and the hip. Other side. Excellent. We're going to walk to our right. And shoulders. And shoulders. And shoulders. And again. And shoulders, and shoulders, and shoulders. Lovely. Figure eight. Nice and steady, nice and slow to start. To your right, circle to the left. A bit faster if you can. Right, left, right, left, right, left. Right, keep the legs quite straight. We're going to go into our twist. Starting slow. You can see whether you can get it a little bit faster, make it smaller. Excellent. Put some bend in the knees, hands on the hips. Let's get the hips coming up and down. Use your legs again. Bend them straight in the legs. Lovely. See whether you can get it a bit faster. Lovely. One more time from the top. Arms up, and bring them in, and again, up, bring them in. If you can get a little bit higher, and down in front, and again, up, down in front. Here comes the hip drop, on the right, go drop. Change legs, 6, 7, change. Excellent. Get ready to walk. And walk. Shoulders. 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 And again to the right. And left. Get ready with your figure eight. Do it slowly first. And left. And right. And left. A bit faster if you can. Right, left, right, left. Keeping the rest of the body as still as you can. Here comes a twist again. Nice and slow. Remember to keep breathing. See if you can go a bit faster. Keeping the hands as still as you can. Lovely. Lots of bend into the knees. Bend them straight on one leg at a time. Lovely. Feel that connection. Get a little bit faster. Lovely.